Hello, my name is Andy Perez. I'm happy to say that I am an alumni of this school. I was part of Loveland Classical's first graduating class in 2015. I've been with the school since the doors first opened in 2011, and now I work here as a third grade classroom coordinator. I'm here today to talk to you about the great character pillar we have at Loveland Classical. Students are at home most of the time, and we understand that parents are the primary source of character education. Our job here at the school is to support that in the classroom. We have great works and great teaching, but those two pillars will topple to the side without the last pillar, which is great character. We can have these great conversations in elementary, middle, and high school about different subjects that we talk about and learn about in history and in literature, but the conversation can't really go anywhere, say, if we're talking about the Iliad, and we're talking about who's the greater man, Agamemnon, or Achilles, or Hector, and we can't really go anywhere, we can't decide who's the better man if we can't talk about virtue and we can't talk about character. So here at Loveland Classical, we love to emphasize that as well, because it builds the spirit so that we can talk about and engage with the great teaching and great works that we have here at this school. At this school, we have 12 core virtues that we talk about from kindergarten all the way up to 12th grade. Service, honesty, generosity, responsibility, forgiveness, loyalty, integrity, perseverance, courage, temperance, prudence, and humility. By the time a student goes from kindergarten to 12th grade, they will have discussed and mastered and understood what all 12 of these virtues mean for the human soul. My role in the school is a third grade classroom coordinator, which is a fantastic job because I get to teach the core virtues class to my third graders. And that looks a little different in all the grades and for different coordinators, but in my class, I'll go to the board and I'll write responsibility, and I like to break down the word into its Latin components or give a Latin origin so the students have a better understanding of what the word actually means. Because if you ask a child, tell me what responsibility is, that may give you some ideas or lots of examples, which is a great thing that they can give me examples, but I really want to know from them what responsibility is. So I break it down for them, and we have this great long discussion where we can finally get to a point where they can tell me, this is responsibility, Mr. Perez. Then they have this firm understanding of what that virtue is, and they can take that with them to other classrooms, like in history, like in literature, where they can have these discussions like, well, I think that Marcus Aurelius was the most virtuous emperor because he showed responsibility, he showed generosity. And that's great that third graders can do this, because they can, but they need that firm understanding in character and virtue first. With this greater understanding of the virtues of our school, it affects everything that we do. So let's say that there's an issue outside of recess with little Billy and little Johnny, and they're fighting about something, and that kind of comes back into the classroom. I can pull these two boys out in the hallway and talk to them about what the issue might be. And it might be something like, oh, Billy stole my ball and he didn't give it back. Well, I can go to Billy and say, hey, what virtue are you not showing here? And then that starts this process in his mind of like, oh, I'm not showing these virtues, and I really ought to be. Now, let's say little Johnny says like, well, Billy's mean and I don't ever want to play with him again. Well, then I can turn the conversation back on little Johnny and say, now what virtue are you not showing? You're not showing forgiveness. So we need to be classmates. We need to be teammates in this classroom and make up and show the virtues to each other and go back to class and get ready for learning again. One of the very important tenets we have at Loveland Classical is our school's motto, which in Latin is Filamur ut Floreamus. In English, this means, let us falter so that we may flourish. So we find maybe in other schools that students aren't necessarily challenged with what they're learning. If they're never expected to fail and just get this good grade, the bar is set pretty low so they always do hit that mark, and they never really grow from that mark. So at Loveland Classical, we expect our students to fail and make mistakes because the curriculum is a little challenging, and that's a-okay. I struggled with it too when I was in high school, and I faltered quite a bit. But We also teach the virtue of perseverance, to work through that hard time, to work through that hardship, and learn from our mistakes. That's so important to everything we do here at Loveland Classical. So much so that we love to recognize students who have maybe struggled quite a bit, but have risen up from that, from those struggles, and persevered. So we have here this Golden T-shirt award. This is actually mine that I won in my freshman year. We have Falamo or Floriamus, and on the back in English, that means let us falter so that we may flourish. The way in which a person truly learns is by doing things wrong and making mistakes and learning from those mistakes. Parental involvement is so important to the climate here at Loveland Classical because we firmly believe that teachers and staff and adults ought to model the virtues and characteristics that we want to see in our students. So in our school's mission and vision, we say that we want to partner with parents. And so one of the ways that happens is by having parental involvement in the school. One thing we have at Loveland Classical is watchdogs. DOG stands for Dads of Great Students, who will come in and shadow their child, assist teachers in the classroom, maybe make some copies for another teacher in a different classroom, and be a presence in the school to model this great character. Another way we ask for parental involvement is for morning forum. Morning forum is a dedicated time in the morning, 20 minutes, where students sit down and they read, and that's all that the time is for, is just to read. We also have theme days in the elementary school. My theme day is Roman Day, where we get to dress up as Romans. I dressed up as Neptune. It was lots of fun for the kids to see that. And in this day, all the classes revolve around something Roman. So in science, we make aqueducts, and in math, we do Roman numerals with math on clay tablets. It's lots of fun. But this day would not be possible without parental involvement. I cannot make the day happen without other hands in the classroom to assist the students, to set out the lunches, and to just model what it looks like to serve the school. At Loveland Classical, we do not have a uniform, but we do have a dress code. And the purpose for this dress code is to minimize distractions in the classroom and to get rid of any sort of social standing among students, of thinking of like, oh, he has really like fancy shoes. I want those shoes, but I can't afford that. That's not a thought that a student really should be having in the classroom. They should be engaged in what's happening and participating in what's happening in the classroom. So that's the purpose of the dress code. What that looks like in the elementary is polo shirts, with the collar, and khaki pants. All the approved colors for the polos and for the khakis are found on the school's website. As a student gets older into high school, they can start to dress up in the dress code. Again, the specifics of that are found on the school's website. In the elementary, every morning we start by saying the Pledge of Allegiance, and we say something else called the Carpe Diem, which in Latin means seize the day. The Carpe Diem is a way to reaffirm with ourselves what it means to be an LCS student, an LCS Lion. I am an LCS Lion. I am prepared for class, and I participate with what is happening in the classroom. I am productive and have a positive attitude. I strive to be polite to my teachers and peers. I demonstrate the virtues of my school: service, honesty, generosity, responsibility, forgiveness, loyalty, integrity, perseverance, courage, temperance, prudence, and humility. I do this because it is the right thing to do. I will do the right thing even when no one is looking. As active members of the LCS community, we will respect class time by being prepared, engaging in discussion, displaying a positive attitude, and giving our best effort every day. We will handle the academic and relational challenges middle school brings with integrity, perseverance, and courage. Forgiving others, walking in humility, and being honest will strengthen our relationships. Thinking of others with generosity and service in mind will help build a strong school community. To achieve all of this, we need to be loyal and responsible to the values of our school. With temperance and prudence, we will better ourselves, our friendships, and our learning community. Part of the mission and vision at Loveland Classical is we expect students to go off into the world and be great community stewards, to give back to the community and serve that community. And they can't do that if we don't have a firm foundation in character and in virtue.